What is up, my beautiful soul family? It is your girl Diana, and I'm back with another video. So today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about the shadow of leadership and the mindset shift that I had to kind of step into in order for me to step into like my inner authority and, the version of me that leads and the version of me that validates her own work and things like that. So before I get into the video, I just want to remind you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment if this helps you. And if you want the full article, full in detail, go subscribe to my Substack. It is free for right now, so you better get it while it still is. And yeah, subscribe to my other platforms if you want to see me model, if you want to see me dance. Subscribe to my Instagram. You want to see more of my personality, it's definitely on my Instagram, but it's also on here too, so you know what? Subscribe. Also, I am healing from a cold sore right now, okay? So please don't mind my face. I have no shame. Everyone gets cold sores, okay? So, with that being said, I don't think I have anything else, so let's just get right into the video. So, the shadow of leadership. I guess I'm going to start off with maybe like a personal moment. So I've been somebody who's like struggled to step into my own personal leadership for like a very long time, struggled to step into my own inner authority for a very long time. And I really used to be one of those people who was like, my work really isn't valid unless other people have seen it, unless other people validate it. And I really searched for like external validation, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned in the past video, but I really struggled to really step into myself as like a writer and an author and someone who has this knowledge and this wisdom, because I felt like, if another person hasn't seen my work, if people don't see it, it's not valid, it's not real. So I really struggled to step into, and I really also struggled to step into that leadership because it was like, I was very angry because the past people from past generations, the leaders of our country here in America, the people who run the education system, the public school education system, they like gave us terrible examples of what leadership actually is. They only taught us obedience and working 9 to 5s. They didn't really teach us how to lead in a sense of like more like leading ourselves. So like we weren't really taught how to lead ourselves. We were really, I guess people can be taught how to lead teams and manage teams, but for me personally, I think leadership is more than leading other people. It's leading yourself. It's holding yourself accountable. It's being aware of your traumas and your triggers and actively doing the work to heal those things so you don't project them onto other people. Being a leader is more than leading other people. It's leading yourself. It's leading yourself mentally and emotionally and physically. It's being in the driver's seat of your own life. And so for a very long time, I really struggled to step into that version of myself because I was very angry and I had a lot of resentment because past generations didn't teach us how to lead ourselves. They taught us how to abandon ourselves and avoid ourselves. And they taught us to suppress ourselves, suppress our personalities, suppress our emotions, suppress our creativity. They taught us deep trust issues, and they taught us these victimhood mentalities, and they taught us to blame other people for our pain. And so I was very upset and I was very angry, and I didn't want to step into this version of me who is a leader because I really felt like they should have just taught me how to do that. I shouldn't have to teach myself. I have to go and create this whole new path on what it means to be a leader because past generations failed at teaching me how to be a leader and how to be a leader of myself. Past generations failed at teaching me how to be in the driver's seat of my own life. And so I really struggled to step into leadership because I had a lot of resentment and I was angry because I shouldn't have to figure out how to be a leader by myself. I really shouldn't. But part of the burden of leadership and being a leader is that burden of responsibility, accepting the responsibility that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming. No one, it's going to be my knight in shining armor. And as much as I really, not to like, no hate to any religious people. I'm personally not religious, but religion really pushes this idea that we're going to be saved. And I just, I believed that for a very long time. And it stopped me from stepping into my inner authority. And it kept me in this cycle of seeking external validation. And it kept me in this cycle of waiting for somebody to come step in the driver's seat of my life. It kept me in this cycle of waiting for somebody to come and just, bear the responsibility of leading me, bear the responsibility of my life. I wanted somebody else to be responsible for the way my life turned out for a very long time because I resented being a leader. I resented the leaders from the past. So I guess I kind of really had to accept that the burden of responsibility that comes with leadership is accepting that nobody is coming to save you. It took me a very long time to accept that, but now that I'm at that point, I kind of want to share the mindset nuggets and how I can help you get to that point. So I guess one thing so one thing that was really, I guess, that entire story, the point of that story was me to share that I was afraid. The point of that is to share that I was afraid to step into my own leadership because the responsibility was a lot. And there are a lot of misconceptions about leadership. What kind of really helped me ease myself into it more, because as much as I like to just throw myself in the fire, which is usually what I do, this was something I kind of had to ease myself into. And usually we're taught that leaders are like confident and fearless and they always know what to do. And that stopped me a lot from stepping into my personal sense of authority and finally accepting the responsibility for my life, because it was like, I didn't really believe that I was confident enough, or I'm always scared. Are y'all? Because I am. Like, I don't always know what to do. I just be guessing, just like everybody else. And so I thought that a leader was supposed to be confident and fearless, but what kind of helped me really step into my own inner authority is realizing that leaders aren't fearless. They just, leadership is like, doing it despite the fear. Leadership is holding space for discomfort and making hard decisions when nobody else will. And it's owning your authority even when you're doubting yourself. Like, yeah, I might be doubting myself right now, but I'm not going to let them see that. I mean, for me personally, as an effective leader in the actual moment, I would definitely not let other people see it. But people in my personal circle, they going to see all that shit. I ain't going to lie. I'm not invisible. You know what I'm saying? But no, but like, leadership is really, it's holding that space for the hard things. It's stepping up and making decisions when other people are acting like they don't know what to do, and other people are acting like scared to step up. It's just, owning your authority. It's still showing up even when you're afraid. Leaders aren't necessarily fearless. They still feel fear. They just have the tools. They just practice the tools and the skills needed to lessen the fear. Like one thing it is about leadership is the goal is to lessen the fear and increase the courage. The fear is always going to be there. So if you can have the tools needed to increase that courage, practice that. Some things that I do, and I mentioned this in my article, I talk to myself in the mirror. I dance in the mirror a lot. I dance as if I'm like this fierce warrior, goddess, protectress, creatrix. I dance in the mirror and I put on this fierce kind of face that helps boost my confidence and believe in myself as a leader. I do a lot of meditation and journaling as well, so those can help you. Reflecting on reflecting on your insecurities helps a lot too, because it's like, if you know where you fall short at, then you'll be able to make the decisions necessary to bring other people in to make up for those points where you fall short. So I kind of really stepped into leadership by what really kind of helped me step into that leadership and kind of overcome that resentment of our past leaders is I really had to learn how to lead myself first. Like, I guess an example of a time where I feel like I really kind of stepped in and led myself was when I set a boundary with somebody who's helping me in my life. This person would come over to my place to check in on me. It was a part of his job to check in on me and things like that. And so he would check in on me. And this one day he came in and he had a lot of like emotional baggage. I'm a very empathetic person, so I can really feel that shit. So he came in with a lot of emotional baggage. He didn't really talk about it. I just kind of felt it. I felt the tension in the air. I felt it. And so when he left, I kind of reflected on the experience a little bit, and I noticed that I felt, one, drained. Two, I felt like I was responsible for confronting that emotional baggage. Because, I naturally do that with myself. I always confront my emotional baggage. Sometimes, I might escape a little bit, smoke a little blunt here and there, doom scroll for a little bit, or maybe watch TV. But at the end of the day, I'm going to confront that shit. And so I kind of felt the need to confront his, but I'm like, well, this is also, we have a professional relationship, so that's not really something, that's crossing the line. So instead of, so when I reflected on that, I kind of gave him a call and was like, can we not meet at my apartment anymore? I kind of felt the energy was very heavy when you came in, and when I'm in my apartment, my defenses are down, and I can't really tune that energy out because I'm open. It's my apartment. I'm not going to have my defenses up in my apartment. And so he said he thanked me for bringing it up, and we agreed to meet at coffee shops because when I'm out in public, I can kind of just tune out that shit. I can tune out the outside energies. I have to because there's too much energy going on. So we decided to meet at coffee shops, and now our relationship is it feels a lot more natural, and it feels less awkward, and it feels more professional, and it feels good. So that moment is a perfect example of self-leadership, of advocating for your needs and setting firm and clear boundaries with people. And I think that is an important, when it comes to stepping into your own authority and your own leadership, things like that, it's like perfect start. And so this leadership moment, I feel like was a perfect example of like choosing self-respect over people-pleasing, and preventing like blurred professional lines, and realizing that leadership, is about leading yourself and not just others. You have to be able to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself and for your needs and for your boundaries, and know when to say no, and know when to take accountability, know when to apologize. Being a leader is more than leading other people. It's being in the driver's seat of your own life. And I know I said that already. I know I said that, but it's like, that really is what leadership is for me at least. And I think that there's no way that we can effectively lead other people if we can't even lead ourselves. Leadership definitely requires EQ, emotional intelligence. It's more than just, leadership really requires emotional intelligence, because you have to be able to empathize with the people that you're leading so that you can understand where they're coming from so that you can lead them better. So, leadership is a very uncomfortable thing to step into, because it's like, you're facing judgment, or you feel unqualified, or there's like imposter syndrome, and there's a lot of responsibility that you have to manage when you step into that power, of being a leader. And so I guess the shift that really makes leadership feels different, which I already said, it's not about eradicating fear. It's not about being fearless. It's about having the tools to lessen fear and act on courage anyway. And in my article, my Substack article, I have a list of things, a list of practices you can go through to increase your courage. I'm not going to get into that right now because I feel like the video is kind of, short attention spans or whatever. But go look at the article and you can see that I give a list of things that you can do to increase your courage. And so, the shadow of leadership definitely comes with a lot of it. It comes with a lot of baggage that you have to train yourself to carry, and you have to learn how to carry. And so, this fear of rejection, this fear of failure, this there are two more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're in the article, so definitely go look at that. But yeah, I guess leadership is like, sometimes in the beginning, it feels like a burden and it feels like a fight. You have to fight to be in the driver's seat of your own life because life is always swaying you. Life and people, environments are always swaying you in different directions. And it does feel like a fight, and it is. But it's a fight that's worth having because if anybody else is in the driver's seat of your life, you're going to blame them for the way that your life turns out. And that's not fair to the other person. Other people can't be your knight in shining armor. So you have to save yourself. And I know we hear that all the time, but when it comes to leadership, that is one of the most truest statements ever, because it's like expecting somebody else to come in and save you is puts you in a position of powerlessness because now they have control over the way your life turns out. And I know that might feel good in the moment because it feels, maybe when I think about somebody else having control over my life, because I'm still learning to step in my own leadership, there's a part of me that still feels like, finally, like, I can just breathe for a second, But in the long run, it's not sustainable for me and it's not sustainable for the other person. It's very unfair to the other person. And I don't know about you, but I don't like feeling powerless. I don't like feeling powerless. This is my life. If you're in my driver's seat, deciding where my life is going to go, I'm powerless. I don't like feeling powerless. I don't like walking through life feeling powerless. So I really had a choice to either, all right, step into my inner authority and bear the burden of responsibility, or allow another person to have that responsibility, but continue being in a position of powerlessness. And, both choices were hard, but, you have to pick the harder choice at this point. You have to pick the one that's going to benefit you in the long run. So that was kind of the mindset behind me stepping into my own leadership and how you can too. I guess a question that can encourage some self-reflection would be like, where in your life are you waiting for someone else to step up? Like, what would it look like if you stepped up? What do you want to do that you're waiting for somebody else to do for you? Go do that. And so, I think that's all I got for right now. If y'all want more details, go read my Substack article. This video is just for those of you guys, for the girlies, they don't like to read, you know what I'm saying? But go read. Like I said in the last video, go read something, okay? I guess, just to create some engagement, comment a moment where you felt like you had to step into leadership despite, being afraid or something like that. Comment a time where you had to be a leader when you didn't want to, or you had to accept that responsibility of leadership when you didn't want to. So that's it for today's video. If you guys want that deeper dive, I'm gonna say it again, go subscribe to my Substack. The full article is on my Substack. Writing has a lot more. You'll be able to process at your own speed. Writing is just, reading implants the knowledge into your subconscious. Like, I know you're sitting here watching me talk right now, but if you read it, you'll get a lot more. So go subscribe to my Substack. Check out my other social media platforms. Instagram, I model and I dance. So if you want to see that, go on there. And if you want to see my work and my writings, subscribe to my Substack or check out Medium. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and blessings.